Hello everyone, OSW-Sim-Sports here, back again with another video, and I just wanted to quickly thank you so much for the support on the last video. It's really awesome to see the channel growing so quickly, and yeah, I hope we can keep it up. Thank you so much. So here we are 1 week later. I quickly joined this race without any practice. I qualified in 19th position, which was already terrible, and at the start I immediately get this drive through. Now, of course, I have to serve it, and when I am entering the pits, this is the moment where it is decision time. We have a few options here. And even though I really hate doing it, as you can hear from the side, I choose option D. And this is honestly something I learned from people who are way better than me. People like Michi Hoyer, Jerne Simoncic, Jardier, and tons of others, where they seem to do everything to just finish the race, even if everything goes against them. And in return for this effort, they get tons of quality track time, and thus they improve really quickly. And as for me, personally speaking, my brain is much more engaged during a race than during a private practice session. So I tend to improve much more rapidly while racing than just doing private practice sessions. And here in this final Sebring race of the week, we get our payoff as we start behind Nick Harper, our teammate from Blown Piston Motorsport. We get a great start, we get into the middle of this pack. We obviously give them tons of space as this is the first corner, but the car on the inside gets a little bit squiggly. He touches me, get a little bit of side damage, but nothing major. I think he was able to keep it on the track, but I don't know if I closed the door on him there, or if he went too squirrely and just lost control of the car, but we had a small accident in the first corner. As I get past Nick Harper, because I have the run on the inside and the Lamborghini parks it up in the slow left-hander, we are very much compromised on this straight. You have to close the door on Nick Harper and make sure we get a great run into this braking zone, which as you can see we do. We get right alongside the Lamborghini, fighting for space here. I decide to go quite a bit off track in order to give him enough space to actually make the corner, and we are still alongside, and here is where the beamer shows his grunt. It's also on the inside, but on the braking very strong, and here I was thinking I almost have the move done, but as he was still a little bit on the inside, I decided to give him space. I gave him too much space, which compromised my exit out of the corner, and I lose the position back to him. As I almost run into him deep on the brakes. It's always very difficult after attempting an overtaking maneuver to get back into the rhythm, and this is generally where the track time comes into play. As Nick Harper is now firmly alongside me, as I get punted from the guy behind me, and you can hear it. I'm not too happy about it. This French guy also in the Lamborghini, but he messes up the last corner, which gives me a perfect opportunity to go for the undercut, which I get done beautifully. Now we are back behind Nick Harper. I am in 11th position, Nick in 10th position. And from here on out we should be in a perfect position to work together and to just lock in, defend and close the gap back up to the guy in front, Mr. Langley. And I am constantly checking here, can we work together? Maybe we can do some bump drafting in order to maximize the gap. Here you can see, but no, I think better of it, and I'm lifting. As Nick Harper goes a little bit squirrely into T1 and he loses it. And I chatted to him after the race. Sadly, he lost his wing, he had to pit, so after that it was kind of race over. Obviously Nick is also a pretty good driver and he finished the race, which I think further proves my point of how important track time is. Because of the accidents ahead, I am now in 8th position and I am in clean air. So this is generally the point to show what pace you can do. As there is a little bit of fighting going on behind me and a car spinning in front of me, this is obviously only serving to my advantage, as this will allow me to kind of build a gap to the cars behind and just focus more and more on Mr. Langley in the Lamborghini. But with this being my third race on Sebring here and not really much free practice in between, the cars behind me and most likely in front of me will be a bit quicker in race pace so it will be extremely important to just keep my nose clean, not make any mistakes, avoid contact wherever possible, and see if we can take advantage. So here we are a lap later, the gaps are now kind of consolidated and I am very much in clear air. So it is time to show what pace I can do. And as you can see on the delta, I am already quite a bit up on my previous time. And to be honest, this is not too bad of a race pace. Now obviously the leader is doing 2:02.3, which is a ton quicker, but he is also in the Lamborghini while I am in the Beamer, which is a car I'm not fully confident with, on a track I'm not fully confident with, so I'm actually quite happy with the pace I'm doing here. As we are now a lap later, we are steadily closing the gap to Mr. Langley in the Lamborghini. Now the Lamborghini in fixed setup races is extremely good, it is super quick. It is one of the few cars currently that can actually rotate in fast mid-corner situations, and on tracks like Sebring and Spa the car is essentially unbeatable. However, it is also quite difficult to drive, and as soon as you start overdriving the car you will quite easily get into a spin and just lose control, which is exactly what happened to Nick Harper in the first lap. And it seems to happen quite a bit to even experienced sim racers. So keep in mind that while the car is fast, you also lose a little bit of stability and safety compared to cars like the BMW, Aston, and the Ford Mustang is also quite good. As we are fighting to stay within range of Mr. Langley, and as predicted this battle would become one of attrition. His pace is a little bit quicker than me, but as long as he keeps making mistakes here and there, I should be able to slowly close the gap and eventually pass him. As we get into the high speed section of Sebring, extremely important to get good exits here. I got a pretty decent exit, but as you can see in the delta, we are not on an amazing lap, as I am honestly struggling to do these 2:03s consistently lap after lap at this point. As I go extremely deep into the last turn, losing me a ton of time, it does give me a pretty good exit, but you can see we instantly lose about 3/10 on the delta. As I make a small adjustment to the ABS to get the car to turn a bit more, look at the car in front as he does exactly the same thing as Nick Harper did. He overcooks it a little bit into T1, cannot catch a slide, and he just spins out. And as we are now in P7, we have a nice gap both in front and behind. So for the coming 5 laps it is important to get the head down and just push. And for those who have seen my video on tires, you can see in the bottom left that I almost always have it open, so I can quickly glance and see if my tires are still happy. Now you can see the front left tire is quite hot, but it is still in the window, and with this being a clockwise circuit and this BMW being a front engine car and quite heavy at that, it kind of makes sense. As we have now closed the gap to a back marker ahead, and with the gaps in front and behind being around 5 seconds, these are situations where you can only lose. So I do obviously want to pass him, but I only will do so cleanly as he just parks it up on the inside of the corner and decides to give a tap on the brake. I almost ran into him. As we take a quick look at the replay. And as you can see from his rear lights, in the middle of the apex he decides to give a tap to the brake. I still don't understand that. If you are in a similar situation where you are getting passed by a car, please do not do this. Thank you very much. And look at this. As we come out on the main back straight, the Ford Mustang of Mr. Delfino has spun on the grass, and this gives us the 6th position. The gap to Mr. Duquesne is now around 6 seconds, and in 4 laps it will be extremely difficult to catch him, but maybe one of the top guys will make another mistake. And honestly, at this point I was already very happy with the race result, and with me having put in about 2 hours I think now on this track in total driving time, I am starting to arrive at the point where I'm both a little bit more confident and a little bit more consistent. As I get a terrible run out of T1, at this point I have firmly given up on trying to catch Mr. Duquesne. There is no real time to do so, and even if I would try, I don't think I would have the pace. So at this point I was just bringing her home, driving safely, no mistakes and no stupidity. Now if you are still watching 10 minutes in, thank you for being here. And if you appreciate this somewhat different daily race review, in which I not only show the highlights but also the less fortunate moments leading up to those highlights, please do be sure to drop a like and leave a comment if you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much. As I am still struggling to get this Beamer to turn through the slow corners, as you can see, we are at this point very much nearing the end stages of this race. And look at that, as I draw your attention to the delta, you can see Mr. Duquesne has gone off. Where has he gone off? Over on the right hand side. It seems like he has just spun the corner coming out of the exit, and he has donated the 5th position to us. So just like that, even in split 1, as long as you keep your nose clean, you can quite easily go up from 12th position all the way up to 5th without making any real overtaking maneuvers. As we start skipping the laps ahead towards the end of the race, as nobody would make any more mistakes. But it just goes to show that if you can drive consistent, the ELO and the rating will just come. And only by repeatedly finishing races, participating in races and risking your driver rating, so to say, you will slowly start to improve and become more experienced. As we bring the car home in 5th position. A very decent result, and as you can see, Nick Harper of Blonde Piston Motorsport is in 14th position. Of course we send the obligatory GG good race. And as you can see, we gained 6 positions and we gained 6% driver rank. Now I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. I have been OSW-Sim-Sports. Ciao!